Okay, so this morning's news out of Ottawa was Justin Trudeau shuffling his cabinet. And cabinet, of course, is ministers that are responsible for different portfolios, and ministers in Trudeau's government are named from members of parliament. So shuffling a cabinet, and it was a pretty big shuffle. Some of the biggest portfolios were shuffled this morning, including foreign affairs and industry. It usually leads to a lot of speculation on what that means, because shuffling a cabinet it usually doesn't happen without some sort of a reason. So I've had many people sort of texting me this morning saying, like, what do you think this means? What do you think this means for the country? What's happening? So I just thought I'd do a quick video for those of you who've been asking. A lot of the speculation and gossip that I'm hearing from people in Ottawa this morning is that this means that there's going to be a spring election. One of the big shuffle moves was Trudeau's Minister of Industry actually said he wasn't going to run again. This is the guy that in theory would have been responsible for overseeing vaccine manufacturing capacity in Canada, and we all know that that didn't go super well. So he's out, and he's moved a few guys around, including their foreign affairs minister. That's a big deal. So with this guy saying that he's not going to run again, there's a lot of people who are speculating that this is because he's doing this ahead of a spring election. So the speculation is that he shuffled his cabinet today, that he will table a budget sometime in the next few weeks and then go to the Governor General and ask for an election. Now, many of you, in my videos and in emails to my office, you say, well, Michelle, why can't you just do a non-confidence motion and bring the government down? Well, in a minority parliament, the Liberals, in theory, you could put forward a non-confidence motion, and in theory, the government could fall, but the NDP have been propping up the government. So the NDP plus the Liberals equals enough votes to overturn any sort of a vote like that. So what the Liberal media are saying this morning is that the Liberals, that Justin Trudeau would actually trigger election himself. He would go and ask for an election after tabling a budget sometime this spring, and that this cabinet shuffle is indication of that. Now, here's what I have trouble wrapping my brain around. Quebec is under curfew right now. Ontario, it sounds like, is introducing a bunch more strict measures for those of you who are watching from Ontario with regard to lockdown. Alberta is still in lockdown. Most of the country is in lockdown. I think the electorate, regardless of political stripe, would be questioning the wisdom of Justin Trudeau going to the polls under severe lockdown. But that said, there's been polls that have showed that Trudeau's numbers are actually up in parts of the country. So if he triggers an election, it's not out of your best interest if you're watching this in a Liberal. It's because he sees the opportunity for a majority government and would go to it. And shuffling the cabinet today might be in advance of that. The other thing is that a lot of people are saying that Trudeau won't wait until the fall to call an election because there's really no guarantee that the federal government, that Justin Trudeau has actually procured enough vaccines for everyone. And as we've seen, Canada's really fallen behind in terms of a vaccination schedule. We've fallen behind other countries. So people are kind of wondering, like, okay, well, if you start realizing at some point in the summer that you're still not getting a vaccine anytime soon, that would hurt him in the polls. So a lot of pundits are speculating that he'd want to go to the polls before that happening. The other thing that people are saying is that Justin Trudeau might want to go to the polls ahead of tax season, because there's going to be a lot of people that Trudeau sort of failed to tell that they're going to be taxed on the CERB, and that there's going to be some fairly hefty tax bills coming out, and that he would want a majority government prior to that happening so that he wouldn't have to pay a political cost for it later in the year. So there's a lot of speculation swirling about when an election would happen and what would go on. I just want to tell you right now, my focus and the focus of our party leader is to get a way forward that doesn't involve us sitting here at home under lockdown for months and months and months on end. For the last 6 months, our party has been pushing the government to do the right thing, to procure rapid tests, to procure vaccines, to come up with a plan that involves, a forward looking prospect for your jobs, for your families, and a big, bold future. don't see Trudeau doing that right now. And I mean, an election could distract from his, responsibility for doing that. That's our focus. Our focus is, I'm here writing statements and trying to get some attention on health issues because I'm the vice chair of the health committee, even though Parliament isn't sitting. So that's the gossip, folks. Every pundit in Ottawa today is saying that this cabinet shuffle means Trudeau's looking at a spring election. And if I don't know about the wisdom in that, just from the fact that we're still in lockdown right now, but that'll be Trudeau's call to make, I suppose. Anyway, I'm going to get back to working on my constituent emails and trying to get some attention to some of these health issues that the government has not been particularly transparent in. Share this video, and I will keep you updated as I hear more information out of Ottawa. Working hard for you in Calgary. Have a great day.